right, the time has come to make this page responsive. Let's go ahead and get started. I think I'm going to just start at the top and work my way down. I like to work with the inspect element open, and Chrome has this sweet feature that's you can actually choose a device. I tend to stick with the iPhone 6, but you can go any different device that's on the list or even edit it. There's also a responsive actual sliding tool that lets you do this as well. This view is nice for me because I remember before this existed, I had to have the inspect element or development tools bar open and all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and just go like this because it keeps the window a specific height and width. Okay. So for the header, all of this, as you can see, is just kind of messy. So we need to do something about it. We'll start with the header to begin with and work our way down, like I said. So let's get going. Let's see. The first thing, of course, we need to work on is our logo and menu at the very top. And I like to, since I use SVG here, I can go ahead and scale this stuff. Super useful to do that. I even gave it an ID, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We have it set already in our style sheet. I highly recommend getting a breakpoint mix in as well as a snippet for it, because you can just type a word and hit tab and then avoid so many keystrokes during this process because it seems like never ending at some points. So I'll try to make this quick, but there'll be points where I might need to adjust things on and off screen, but I'm going to try to get it all for you guys. So here we go. So the primary logo, let's scale it down a bit. It's at 235 now. Let's do like 185. And what are we going to do with our menu? Let's do the same thing here. We'll add some more padding. We'll keep the padding from the top, but we want to reduce it a bit. The sides needs to have padding as well. Bottom doesn't really matter, I don't think. Okay, I could make like a crazy menu with this. I think what I'll do is a common pattern is to present a menu icon, but it actually links to the footer. So our footer actually has our menu and more, which is kind of the same stuff that's here. So we don't really need to double display it but both places on mobile. So I need to actually get an icon in our code to handle that little tapping feature when you link to it. I'll show you what I mean here in a sec. Let me open up our header file. I'm going to find our branding, and I'm going to add in our navigation. I'll actually hide this menu with CSS and then add back a anchor. This will link to our menu in our footer, which I'm going to go ahead and add the ID or the hash. It is footer menu. I'm linking to this. I could link to the whole footer itself, but I kind of want it to go all the way to the menu if it has to. So this, we still need an icon in here to represent that linkage. Let me scroll back up. Where was I? Here, okay. To grab that, I'm going to open up my icon library again. Look for a menu. We have one here. Show in Finder. I will throw that in here. I'll grab that code and paste it in here. Okay. Cool. Let's give that ID an actual menu. We'll call it menu icon, just to make sure. We need to give this a class of menu, mobile menu. We'll just make an ID. It doesn't really need to repeat anywhere. I'll keep the camel case going. So there we go. So we'll need to target both of these. The menu itself needs to display none on desktop and visible on mobile. So we'll do display none. There's so many patterns you could follow to make use of some sort of menu for responsiveness, but I found that this one, it's I guess kind of the lazy way out, but realistically it's pretty nice because you don't have to add too much code, but you still get the benefits of the menu that's already there. So if you have your menu in your footer, it's already worth doing, if you ask me. Let's just make this a general. I think a good tap width is 48. Let's make sure that's right. It's menu icon. Cool. Okay. So we want to fill that with white too, because black is white. And let's go to our actual menu, which is here. I'll actually put this closer to that. So the main navigation corresponds to our div here, which is encasing all of this. I'm going to go in that div and target our primary menu ID, which I think we already have up here, primary logo. So let's go into, we'll just call this like this to keep this going. So primary menu, it's going to display block on desktop and display none on mobile, so it should hide. Cool. One thing we need to do as well, I have these set on the classes on the containing elements to go full width. So to fix that, we could just turn these to 6 on the smallest screen size, so they'll always be like so. So it's taking up half the screen, or the containing element. I also noticed my container itself doesn't have any padding on mobile screens, so I'm going to go back into our grid file we added at the very beginning, and we'll add some that padding. Just some. It doesn't need to be a ton. What works best? Maybe 20 pixels looks good. I'll probably go like 16 for now. So all of our containers in the end will have this gap on the sides, which looks a little nicer and easier to read. I might actually go back to like so. Okay. So with that done, we can actually remove this amount of padding I added before. Doesn't really make sense to have it. We might need to remove the top padding though, so we'll keep that. Make these zeros again. In fact, we'll probably, let's just lose it all together. Nice. Okay, so then our menu itself, we need to adjust the icon to kind of be in more aligned with that. We can do that pretty easily with some positioning or margin, whatever you like to use. I don't really like to use margin that much, just preference. I'm targeting the wrong thing. So this needs to be on this. Okay. So as you see, I just clicked that actually by accident, but when you do click it, it should shoot to the bottom here, which is where our menu is. We're going to increase the height and stuff of all this once we get down there. But now we're going to keep going. Okay, so this splash image, whatever I have there, it's huge now, so we can actually probably adjust that. We can also load a smaller image, but honestly, the site's not going to be massive, so I care about page speed, but at the same time, I don't really have the time to do all that at this point. So I'm going to kind of go with flow here. I'm going to reduce this about to half its size, so I'm not too smart with numbers like that large, so we're going to divide it by 2. Could use some sass there, but in fact, hell, I'll just do that. So 750s divided by 2. I don't know if you can even do that. Hell, I'll just do it the real way. Sorry, guys. So 428, we'll just go with that. And then 728, 365 pixels. Did that even do anything? I need to target the actual image. Now it's gone. Awesome. Let's do this. Copy that and see what happens. There we go. That's kind of ganky, but we'll work with it. Top does not need to be negative 100 and whatever. In fact, we need to go down with it. In fact, do we need to position absolute? So position static, which is the default. That's nice. Okay. So we can work with that. Let's see if relative does anything different. That's actually better. So right 50%, and then margin right is 428 divided by 2. Negative 214 pixels. That's a way to center a div. That just did not work though. Why didn't that? Okay, we'll eyeball this, I think. What happens when I scale it though? Not what we want. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to static. I think we'll go that route. Just trying some stuff here. Okay, that's kind of more what we want. Now it's a little small. Let's just subtract like 200 pixels from these. So that would make that 657 and 528. Okay, so it's doing its own thing. I don't even need those dimensions. That's kind of nice, but at the same time, it's kind of not exactly what we want. Okay. So with that said, this header can actually decrease in height. I know we have a set height at the very top up here, right here, the slant. So we can do on medium height would be like 600, a little less, just to get that clipping thing going like we had before. Like 550. Oh, 560. Let's do that. Okay. And it looks kind of odd that this is left aligned. This is kind of centered, so I think we're going to center that top portion. So we have our intro here. Let's just do medium. I think this might take care of it. There we go. This, I don't like how it's wrapping. Let's go ahead and make that font size a bit smaller. Lead text, title. We'll have to call attention to that title. Fonts, this needs to be under this. In fact, I'll just do it this way instead of repeating that. That's too small. Something like that. So by doing that, of course, the height of the slant thing changed again. It's all trial and error here. I think that should work. So you'll see this huge gap now. I couldn't tell you what's going on there. There's something in here pushing it down. I don't quite know what. That's it. It's this stupid image. Okay, so the height needs to be, still need to be like auto, I don't know. Cool. There we go. And I mean, since it's static, top shouldn't matter, but let's see what we're doing with this section. The lifestyle section has a height, doesn't have any like negative crazy margin like some of the other stuff. Wonder what we can do to make it appear underneath this one. So the image and everything inside of it is still throwing this off because it's positioned in such a way that pushes the content below it. So I think realistically our next section, the lifestyle section, needs to have a negative top setting, which will be like so, yeah. And it does not need to be 800 pixels high. We can maybe make it auto if it cooperates, or 100%. That works with that. But we lose that slant thing, so that kind of doesn't work. We still lose it. Do we have to have 800? It's not there anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this for now. I'm gonna go back to our desktop and just see what's going on. So this is slanted at the bottom. I'm kind of curious why it isn't on this screen. Did we ditch? Oh, that's right. The one we ditched it on the slant thing on this one. We just made an image. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. An image straight across, and then the section below it came back. So let's make the height 100% like we had it. It should do its thing. Let's text align center the content. That didn't work there. We need to do it on that container below. Definitely don't need so much damn padding, so medium. What does that do? Oh, it goes crazy. Okay, so I guess we do. We also need like something to keep that text from disappearing. We can maybe add some text shadow. A little more than that. Get it kind of really blurry. And a little darker. Even more. Even more. We just do legit. Maybe. Okay, I'm also going to probably just do this a little less and add some on the bottom, the padding. And the line height's kind of bugging me, so let's go. I think we set that in our base style. Our base line height is here. Our variable, do medium line height. I don't know, like an M, I think we used, or rim. That's not enough. Just a little tighter on mobile. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Okay, those still work too. I could collapse these buttons to be full width. In fact, that would probably make more sense. So, sorry, I'm going backwards here, but that's what I think would look better. They're currently floating, I think. What did I do with those? There's a button group, give it a button secondary. Yeah, so let's go into our header. Let's look for the button group. Ironically, they are displaying this is why. Inline block. So let's go grab the button class. We'll actually have to add this. Where was it? Button group. Here we go. Make sure you don't forget medium button. We'll do display block. There we go. And we'll add a bit of margin, like just a touch. That didn't work. 10. There we go. And we could do like first of type. This grabs the first of that child based on the parent, and do more margin. Okay, so that's kind of cool. That also pushed again our image down. That's kind of annoying how it's doing that. So we'll have to do something like so. There we go. Maybe our button text needs to be bold. We can deal with that another time. I think this is kind of pushed a little too far down. That's on the desktop. So let's go back to intro at the very top. I'm going to add one little fix here, medium padding top. Just decrease that a bit. Maybe to half. Okay, and again, there we go. Okay, so we're getting there. I don't know if I could zoom this in for you guys or not. No. Okay. I'll go like that. So the next section needs to overlap this one, actually. We don't need to go crazy with that slant thing, but it does need to persist, otherwise it kind of breaks our design. Let's go to it. It is called the benefits section, and it's what's making this thing go nuts with this scrolling. So let's grab this width. Just do width is 100% for now. What do we got? Slants there. This needs to be even higher in z-index, I think. So medium. Okay, that's not doing anything. Okay, we'll figure that out in a second. I want to figure out why this thing's so giant. All the padding, I'm guessing. Yeah. So let's turn that down a bit. And that's where the slant is, oddly enough. So the top, we need to make this we need to get rid of that. Is this doing what we want? Oh gosh. There we go. The previous section probably needs to grow in height, so let's make it actually bigger on mobile. Maybe we'll keep it at 800. Or like 7, 6, 5. Okay. Okay, so back to benefits. This needs to come up a touch. Maybe not that much. In fact, nowhere near that much because we have to shift this guy below it. About like that. So to like 0.5. Okay. And this section obviously needs to come up even further. Not that much though. And the width is throwing me off. I don't get what's going on. CTA arrow down. Let's inspect element on that. Container is really wide. So let's see, like 90%. Does that sort of fixes it? I think it's because there's margin on some of this stuff. Then again, let's make it 90%. Maybe a little less than that. 88. Okay. And this icon needs to do a little less on the negative side. Actually, it just needs to be 0, I'm guessing. Yep. That doesn't look too bad. I think the padding is balanced because it's almost about the same as the surrounding padding. I just noticed this needs to come up just a touch more though. So let's do that. Maybe 20 pixels. There we go. And should I center that too? I don't know if I will. I guess I should. So let's do text right center. Got it. I hate centered big copy like this, but we're kind of following along here. That button can be full width as well. We have it displaying inline right now. Believe it is right. It's the CTA. We need to target the actual class. So CTA button. Okay, I'll go to the bottom. We want to do medium and then button and then display block. Okay. Icon's good where it's at. Cool. Okay, the next section has our kind of gray ailment behind it. It's really not that big a deal that it's where it is, but I guess I'll continue that, move it up a bit. This is called the Y section. Maybe we'll do even more margin. Yeah, that's what's doing it. So I could probably use a percentage if I wanted to, but I think I'll stick with what I got. And that looks pretty good. It's doing that though. Does that go away when I clear that? Oh crap. We need to relaunch our gulp. Okay. Let's remove this for a second and see if that shifts the whole thing back down. No, okay, so that doesn't reflect that. Okay, so we can go ahead and adjust this height. I'm gonna try 100%. I know we had trouble with this in an earlier video because it wants to go like all the way down, but actually it doesn't. So we need to make this giant then, which isn't a huge deal, but it's kind of annoying. Not that big though. Okay, I'm going to position these statically because they're kind of throwing some stuff off. So we will do Jamie first. Position static, and same for this one. Yes, I'm repeating myself, but so sue me. We need to make sure the image itself is something like that. This one really doesn't need to scale, so I'm gonna just leave it. And I mean, right as they are at the current moment, that doesn't really make sense that they are the way they are, but I'm going to leave them like they are, and we can address that in a minute or later on. These look like they have some margin or something, but they don't. Okay, so that section is actually pretty much complete. I mean, I could do more with those images than just display them like they are, but I mean, it's whatever. So I think our height can probably come down. No, we'll leave it like that. So the next section might be pushing up quite a bit. We need to address that, our buy section. So we'll do that. Margin top, nowhere near as much, maybe like 32. Not even that. Not even that. Um, 11. So 10.5, I don't know. Okay, cool. Awesome. Then this looks like it's just going to be a matter of making this image smaller. So we will do that. It's it has a background size, so we'll have to either scale that image with background size property or something else. Yeah, because it's just going to clip it. I think we could do something like that. All right, let's use the actual dimensions because should do it right. Okay, and it needs to go down. So maybe we can do top. We need to like make bottom the predominant thing. 0. Okay, we'll have to use top. Maybe if we do auto and then bottom 0. How's that work? It does not. Okay. This needs to grow in height. And we'll need to do margin bottom. I don't know. Something like that. Yes, it's kind of hacky. I know. Yeah, this whole design in general has been something out of the ordinary for me. I don't typically do like the crazy margins and padding stuff. Usually it's kind of fairly fluid based on the design, but sometimes you have to go nuts with this crap to get it to do what you want it to. So I just feel guilty doing it. I don't know if anyone else feels the same way, but I'm going to reduce this a touch more, so we'll remove 40 from everything, so 40 pixels. Okay. So that's working. Our actual slant portion can actually have some padding. Oh, no wonder this is so messed up. The height's set in a weird way. It didn't even matter, did it? Okay. I want to add a little padding to the title here. Not that much. Okay. Should we center this? I think so. Let's go ahead and do that here. See if that reflects. Most things it will. So our button's centered. This needs to display centered as well. We'll remove that border, remove those floats on it. So medium, float, none. Padding right, none. Width is 100%. And we'll do text line center. Price is already doing the right. To bring it back. And let's add some margin after the digits. Okay, that border is killing me now. Where is it? Border on. Okay, and our button needs some margin, not left or float. And let's make it with 100% just to double check that. We'll do the same with the actual stripe button. Guessing it's display inline, so I'm going to try block, see if that makes a difference. Did. Cool. Let's give it a margin. Didn't do much. I don't know if it's doing anything. A little bit. Okay, and then we'll still need to increase this height, sadly. So the slant itself, like add. So add 40 pixels to this will be, I don't know, something like that. Okay, we're getting there. Maybe our icon on the dude on the can move over. I don't. I'll leave it where it's at. And let's do our footer next. So we'll go into the footer. So let's display all of our stuff block on medium screens. Cool. We'll want to actually center everything, I believe. It's a good start. We will remove, you know, in fact, I'm going to increase the line height on these. Maybe so. Oh shit. Okay, 2. Even more. I'm thinking the font size will increase too, so we'll do like 1.2 or 3M. That's probably massive. 2, 1. Yeah. All right. Let's make sure that logo is doing what it should. Left or center. Right on. And then our actual active link in our menu, this one here, let's remove that border. We can even make that a button if we wanted, but I'm going to leave it alone. Make sure these are block. And we'll give them padding just because we want them to kind of fill out and be tappable. I don't know if you've ever experienced that on a phone where it's just the link, but that's super annoying to me. So since we did that, of course, the line height is going to be messy. So let's go return that down a bit. There we go. So now the actual target itself will be larger. You just can't see it. So you will realize it once you use your finger or thumb to press it though. Okay, then we can do our social will be text line left. Not left, center. Then our sub footer or their footer. Where are we at here? Set copyright. This will be display block. Okay, they are. I don't need that then. This essentially needs to be display none. I don't want those pipes. And then we can add a touch of padding or line height, whatever you want to do. 1 point. Okay, that's not working. Why not? Okay, that seemed to do the trick. Let's make our icons bigger though, because they're going to be ridiculous to tap on a phone at that width. So we'll do the 48 again. Okay, and then definitely needs to be, it's pretty big, but that's okay. I think we did some margin between them. Maybe we will add a touch more until hopefully it doesn't break. Okay, first of type. Margin left, 0. There we go. Okay. So that covers our tracks on the phone. I don't know how deep I'll go and make this all optimized for every device out there, but it's more or less responsive, which is awesome. And it happened pretty fast, so I'm pretty pleased compared to some of the other tasks in this series. Oh, I must have forgot that part. Let me go back and fix the vibe section. Yep, I changed this dimension. It should be on the breakpoint dimension, not this one. So I think it was, what was it before, 940? Yeah. So we'll do what, medium height 940. Sometimes I forget to mix in. I think I figured the rest out. Yeah, so cool. That's a little off. We'll go back and fix that real quick. Here we go. Looking at this, I think this stuff could be bigger. Maybe we'll adjust that real quick. The label. And then the digits as well. Font size 2M. Is that going to be massive? It works. It needs a little padding though. Top, just a small amount. Cool. The buttons can probably increase in their text size. And they all aren't bold. So maybe we'll go back into our base, make our buttons, and make the font weight bold for now. It's not super clean, but I think if I add like a anti-aliasing thing, some people love it, some people hate it. It does definitely make the text look better to me though. So maybe on medium screens, font size will be just a touch bigger, like 1.2 M's, and then we can adjust the height to be 48 pixels, line height 48 Pixels should make things more touchable. Looking good. Cool, guys. So I think that wraps up the responsive portion. I think in the next few videos, maybe even one or two, I don't know, we'll wrap up this project altogether. I'm not going to show the entire launch just because it's just basically moving this to any type of server, wherever you host your own. You could do the same thing. It's pretty easy. There's a lot of tutorials out there to do it. But this one, it was just more or less showing you my behind the scenes process of taking a concept, turning it to life. So in the next video, I'll kind of wrap up, maybe tighten up a few things, introduce some interactivity here in this section as well. So see you then.